Don't be too scared. Let's get into it. Let's go over the new changes at Campand Media. Here we go. Are you super excited? So it's actually been nuts. And there's a lot of mini stories involved in one big story. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to read it like this guy sent it to me. We're going to go through this list in order here. Okay? And we're going to read through these compound events. I'll even pull this up here on my screen so you can see it with me. Shout outs to Ashley Butterfield for sending me these. Listen to this. Compound events in order by Ashley Butterfield. Okay, so let's start here. You guys ready? Are you guys really ready for this? This is really scary. This is a big one. This is a night to remember. Okay, here's the first one. Keith makes Compound Media more expensive. Convinces them to get a year-long special offer. Does anybody have this link? This was really creepy. Keith the cop sends out this company-wide, subscriber-wide email that was written like how Airbnb would talk to its customers. Like a real company, which has always bothered me about Compound Media. They send out these emails. You know, Patrick Melton does it too, in fact. Lots of people do this. I might have even been guilty of it sometimes. I really try not to do this anymore. I might have been guilty of it too. I might have thought this is how you talk to the customer. Keith sends out this email, and I would love to read this email if somebody could find it, talking about all the changes at Compound, but he's talking about it as if he's talking to mostly 47-year-old moms, and he's a vitamin company, you know, and they're making some changes to Johnson & Johnson, and the new baby powder is going to be talc-free. You know what I mean? That kind of nonsense talk that really doesn't need to be, especially for a place like Compound Media. You could talk to your people like a real person. You don't have to be all professional. But people like to do this. They really like to... Oh, here it is. Look at this email. And they've got this logo up here. Look at this logo. There's Kumia biting someone. Okay, so here it is. I'll read you this email. Hello. And this is written by Keith, by the way. Kumia don't do shit. Kumia sits at home wishing he had a different drone. Hello, loyal subscriber. I'm going to do it in my best Keith voice. Let me have a little more wine, okay? Shout outs to everybody. We're going to have a really fun time. We're starting to cover the Compound trilogy here. Woo! Hello, loyal subscriber. I'm reaching out today to let you know that after 3 years of holding the line on the price of our service, we will be instituting a price increase effective August 21st. But don't you worry. As a loyal subscriber, your current 6-month or yearly plan will remain in effect until the expiration of the current term. We will also provide our monthly subscribers a 2-month grace period to switch to a 6-month or yearly plan in order to maintain a savings. Yuck! Maintain a savings. Okay, the new service cost will be as follows. $8.95 a month. $44.95 for 6 months, and $83.95 a year. Listen to these con numbers, too. Somebody made a good point. Why are they using the .95? $8.95, $44.95, $83.95? What are you, fucking Sam's Club? Trying to trick the consumer into buying something? Did you read a book where they go, don't charge $85? People will be so scared if they see 85. You got to charge $83.95 a year. That's disgusting. You'll notice all Red Bar prices are even numbers, as crazy as they could be. Because we don't need to play a mind game with you there, okay? That's a $44.95 for 6 months. What kind of fucking price is that? $45. That's what you say. Hey, guys, this is what I would say. Hey, teens. Bar me is now $45 a month. Cop, and a bunch of misspellings. There. And believe me, they would sell just as good as this nasty email. The price increase allows us to improve our service with a brand new website, a new and upgraded apps. Yes, that does include Apple TV, and the ability to attract fresh, top-notch talent. Wow. Those were a lot of promises, huh, folks? A brand new website's coming. That's going to be Trill. New and upgraded apps in that Apple TV app. Oh, will it ever come? I don't know. It's not out yet. And the ability to attract fresh, top-notch talent. Remember that line. Fresh and top-notch. I want you to remember those two. During the course of the last 3 years, we have increased our programming over 250%. From a mere 8 hours of programming a week, available only on your computer, to over 20 hours per week. This is not a Keith voice anymore. I don't know who this is. Sounds like the type of guy who would write this, though. Hey, from a mere 8 hours of programming a week, available on your computer, to over 20 hours per week across multiple platforms. And that's not counting the future shows we have on deck for you. We have grown from being only available on your computer screen to apps on iOS, Android, Roku, and Amazon Fire Sticks, while also delivering our episodes in an audio podcast format for your listening convenience. Born in Anthony's basement. Wow, a lot of things were born in Anthony's basement, not just Compound Media. Think about all those, what do you call them, predecessors? What would they call them in True Blood? Where you bury them for a night and then they come back a vamp? Born in Anthony's basement, the show has grown into a network thanks to you. Our Compound Media family, who we warmly welcome into New York City studio space for free. Wait. Thanks to you, our Compound Media family, who we warmly welcome into our New York City studio space for free to watch the broadcast in person and interact live with the show and all of your favorite guests. We appreciate the support you've shown us during this journey. And we look forward to being able to have more of the above over the next 5, 10, 20, or hell, who knows how many years. Anthony Cumia and the Compound Media team. Oh, yeah, I bet Anthony Cumia is sitting there with his fucking feather pen from the 1860s, writing this in blood with a candle. Yeah, right. Cumia never even knew this went out. And then they say, oh, and one more thing. On August 21st, we'll finally announce who Anthony's new co-host is going to be. So make sure to tune in at 4 p.m. Eastern. You're not going to want to miss this. A quill, yes. Cumia got that quill. Dipping it in that ink. Yeah, Cumia is a psychopath. The more and more I look into him, the worse it gets about him. Okay. So that was there, and everybody was going pretty nuts about that. We were so excited about all these new promises we were getting from Keith here. All right, here's the next little note from the listener. I'm reading this as the listener writes it. Gavin is ultra worried about the direction Proud Boys are heading after the aftermath of Charlottesville. Whoa! Thank God that's over. That's kind of out of our system now, this whole Charlottesville thing. But that was a kooky little case, huh? You had the Charlottesville guy. We covered that. Oh, yeah, we covered that live on the last show. That happened. That was breaking on our last show. You had that guy, vroom, vroom, get out of my way. And then he hit the man. And then it all went crazy. People all over on the right were disavowing the alt-right. Remember, they were pushing the Nazis and the alt-right all into this corner and boxing them in so that they wouldn't have to be affected by this Nazism. Those torch guys at the thing, they really threw a wrench into this whole thing. Well, let's see what people are saying. Mike called this exactly. Somebody ends up dead and they start questioning. Gavin, yes. I did call that. I don't like to take credit for things. You know me. But I will take credit for all these things. And by the way, these are all things that everybody should have been predicting. This isn't like, wow, I'm super smart. I tapped into something. It was more like, why isn't everybody, when this was all starting, Why doesn't everybody think this is so crazy? That's where the frustration came from. It's like, what do you think's going to happen? They're going to think you're Nazis. They're going to think you're crazy. That's all I was saying when he first started doing this thing. And I don't know why everybody didn't say that, because it looks crazy to me. I think I was around too many crazy people at the time. You know, for me to go, this Proud Boys thing is crazy. And then you hear a guy go, and he's not even a Proud Boy. Like some guy in the Bring Back group will go, well, you know, I could see how you would. No, I can't see. Sorry. And I think that's what separates me and my people from people like you and your people. I can't see any good reason to be in the Proud Boys. I can't. But, you know, usually it's just friends hanging out. You know, that sounds horrible. You don't just sign up to be in a friends group. Sorry. And you know where it got particularly weird for me was when this Cale Hardman came around. Remember Beth Stelling's thigh boxing champion? Remember that guy? The heavyweight thigh boxing champion of the world, Cale Hardman. Comedian Beth Stelling, she was on this show. She actually walked off because I was making jokes about banana. Yes, the blacks. She couldn't believe it. And this was years ago. Beth Stelling, she walked off. Beth Stelling then moved to L.A. Comedian Beth Stelling, she shacked up with this guy named Cale Hardman, who is a fucking psychopath. Now, I don't know what her and Cale did, but they were dating, and then out of nowhere, Beth Stelling posted this photo on Instagram of her thighs covered in black and blues, as if Michael Malice was, I'm going to punch you in the thigh once, and you let me know what it feels like. Boop. Okay, let's wait for that black and blue to form, and then I will punch another. I want to make you look like, you know, a cheetah. Boop. That's what her thighs look like. So she posts this thing. Cale Hardman, he's abusive. He beats me up. He pins me down. He rapes me. I've had a lot of other people say this guy's nuts. Shout outs. Disavow him. Dispose of him. That's what Beth Stelling does, and the entire comedy community turns on Cale Hardman. They say those punches, those spots, we hate you. And Beth Stelling's very popular amongst everybody. Not me. But they outcasted Cale Hardman, of course. And I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying he even did anything wrong, but I don't know. My wife doesn't have a whole body beaten up. If your wife's getting beaten up, doesn't matter how it happens, you're both nuts. Okay? Nobody should be fighting. So there are a couple of loons. And it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what his side of the story is. Beth Stelling, who everybody loves in comedy, said, I've been beaten up and raped by this guy. It doesn't matter if she's telling the truth to those people she's telling it to because they love her. You know, it'd be like if your sister came to you and said that, you wouldn't say, well, I don't know, Cale's kind of cool. He's kind of chill. I'd like to know more about this Cale. I'd like to actually hang out with him. He seems cool. Sorry about your thighs, but some things are more important than beatings. No. This is just how people work. I'm not saying it's right. Then Gavin had Cale Hardman on his show, and this was weird. You know, Gavin had just assembled the Proud Boys, this crazy group of dastardly men who we were mocking, and then he brings on Cale Hardman. Oh, no, actually, at this point of time, this is why I'm telling you this story. At this point of time, I had thought the Proud Boys was on a very similar tongue-in-cheek level as me saying, shout-outs to the heads. What up, redheads? Shout-outs to my black sisters in the BBG. We're a group, you know, we're a team. I thought it was on that same level. Okay. And this is where I found out it wasn't. He brings Cale Hardman on his show. Cale Hardman has this terrible, gross appearance where he doesn't really show that he's a cool guy. He just shows that he's this weird fucking guy who sucks. In my mind, in my opinion. IMO. And then on the Proud Boys Facebook group, they were all reaching out to Cale. They took him under their wing.
I'm looking at a solid 7.6.
They invited him on family boat trips, the entire Proud Boys group, and this is before we knew they were completely psychotic. This is what actually turned me. Kale is such a sweet guy. We really need to help him. He needs us. Let's be there for Kale. Kale, I'm just throwing this out there. My father has a lake house. I think it would be really good if you just got away for a while and we could have this group. What the fuck? That's what I was thinking. What the fuck? Why are they acting like this? Is this a bit? I thought the Proud Boys back then we're going to be more like us, where you would make fun of someone. Imagine in the Bring Back group, if Cameron Malick was having a hard time and people were reaching out to him and trying to, we would be fucking going nuts making fun of you. So I couldn't believe that was happening. And I started trying to make comments, funny comments like I would in the BBG, in the Proud Boys group, and they weren't having it. They were not liking me making fun of Kale's situation. They really wanted to heal Kale, and they loved him. They all wanted to be him. For what? All he's known for is raping and beating up a girl. And this was his denial. Never happened. I mean, never happened. That's it. You love him now? Why? That's all you know of him, is a half hour of him being weird and saying it never happened. So now you love him. And that's when I started really focusing on these Proud Boys and their behavior. And I really started noticing, wow, here's a kook. This guy's fucking nuts. This guy's in a Speedo. This guy's breaking beer cans in his head. And people go, Mike, but, there's lots of nuts guys in the BBG. It's the same thing. And I go, yeah, that's true. But I'm not encouraging the nuts. I'm not telling them that they're, oh, I love that behavior. Oh, that's so cool. You should personally come hang out with me on a getaway. Gavin loved these guys. I had a conversation with Gavin. I go, this Hunter guy, he's clearly insane. And I was having a private conversation with Gavin, and all I wanted to hear was going, yeah, I know, these guys are fucking crazy. I don't know how I'm going to handle some of them. But he didn't. Out of pride, he doubled down on this insanity, these fucking lost souls. And he started going, Hunter rules. Hunter rocks. I would have 1 million hunters. And I go, okay, well, what's going on here? Are you doing a bit? There's no reality where this guy Hunter from the Proud Boys, I know I don't have a picture of him. There's no reality where he rules. There really isn't. There's no reality where all these people that he said rule. So that's when I started going, okay, this is a little weird. This is odd. And that's when people, started labeling Proud Boys as cringe, gay, nuts. And then from there, it just became more and more apparent. Let's talk about that 4th degree, where Gavin was on a show going, yes, if you beat up Antifa, you get a 4th degree Proud Boy award. That was pretty nuts. And it seemed my point is, it seemed very common sense that all of this stuff was nuts and weird and odd. And I still have problems with the guys, and I like these guys. They're nice guys. But I still have problems with these guys who, they're Red Bar fans. They go to meetups and they still say, Proud Boys is actually pretty cool. But it's not. You're all wearing these matching tight, weird polos that don't look good on anybody. What are you doing? I get it. You don't have anything better, but that doesn't mean that Proud Boys is cool or all right. Doesn't matter if your life was actually shittier before you met the Proud Boys. That still doesn't make Proud Boys good. You're taking a shortcut into having friends where you all have just kind of seceded to this idea that, hey, we're all fucking losers and we're just going to be friends because we need friends. Got to do it because we're going insane otherwise. No. That's not the way it should work. The way it should work is you need to figure out why you haven't made friends. You need to figure out why people think you're weird. You need to figure out why you're getting in all these weird situations. You need to figure out why you only have a mom and she's in the kitchen in a robe smoking Salem's. You need to figure those things out. You don't just do this easy thing where you go, I'll just be a Proud Boy now and now I'll have all these friends. Because it's not the way it works, and it is going to backfire. It's going to get weird. There's no shortcuts to having a life. You got to do the work. The Proud Boys is always going to be a weird fucking thing. There's no way around that. And I hope you stay with me, Proud Boy listener fans. I still think you're cool. They don't know. I mean, the people who are Proud Boys, believe me, if they wanted to turn on me, they've had plenty of time to do it. They don't even get it. But they're still cool. I like them. So there we go. Gavin is ultra worried about the direction of the Prouds heading, the direction that the Prouds is heading in the aftermath of Charlottesville. Yeah, and did we see Gavin backpedal? Remember, we had never seen anything like this. Pounds of clips, heaps of clips. Shout out to Australia. Of Gavin going, don't go to rallies. Don't wear your shirts out in public. Don't do anything Proud Boys. I got a new offer on the table and I'm kind of done with this insane group. Remember that? The huge backpedal. Gavin disavowing everybody. I hate Nazis. I'm going out of my way. So that was nuts. And Gavin was being very worried. I mean, every episode of his show, he was beet red. He was rambling. He was sweating. Do you remember this? Alan J. Erickson. Somebody says, I feel a tremor in that chat. Let's see the chat. Let's see how they're feeling. Follow that red bar logic. Uhuru. He turned them into a drinking club. Yeah, we're just a drinking club. Okay, well, then why does a drinking club say they need to come kill me every week? Why do I get screenshots every week from just a polite drinking club saying we should go to Chicago and kill Mike David for making fun of us? Why does that happen, huh, Prouds? Doesn't seem like what a couple of great, nice people would be with all the death threats that they've done against me, which I don't complain about. I don't go to the cops. This is probably the first time you're hearing about. How many times have you seen a screenshot of a Proud Boy saying, Mike David needs to be killed? Let's go to Chicago, kick the shit out of him. Let's beat him down. Let's make him regret. I mean, that's not chill stuff. And if the Bring Back group was littered with, we're going to go, let's kill Gavin, let's kill him, and it was no jokes, believe me, people would think we were weird. Okay? So it's weird whenever you start talking about killing people for a long time and there's no jokes to be found, it's always weird, right? Okay? I haven't seen Hunter post anything in the Proud Boy Facebook group in a while. Maybe he's out. Yeah, I think a lot of Proud Boys are quitting. We had, what's his name? The big kahuna. What's that guy's name? Sal Goodman. He quit. He said, I'm done with the Proud Boys. I'm moving on to burger eating competitions. They're too proud. The only people the Prouds could kill was a fat bitch with a vehicle. No, those weren't the Proud Boys. Don't do that. That's not fair to Gavin and his wife. Who, by the way, there's a tape of Kumia going, hey, I'm Gavin's wife. He did that to Gavin. Kumia hates Gavin now, so we'll talk about that. The riff. All right, let's get through these. Then this happens. It's revealed that Rebel Media is a scam. This company that Gavin works for. You know, he makes these cheap-looking videos where he sits. Here, this is a Rebel Media video. Check this out. Gavin sits about right here. Hey, everybody, it's the Rebel Media. I have all this space. Hey, do you like our cheap pixelated background? I mean, this Rebel Media programming is some of the most chintzy stuff I've ever seen. But yeah, all of a sudden, during all of this, remember, right after Charlottesville, Rebel Media, this big right-wing stuff that Gavin works for, it's all going haywire. And all these people out of nowhere are turning on the leader of Rebel Media, Ezra Levine, calling him a shekla, calling him a stealer, calling him a thief. Evra Levant is making these videos back, and he goes, I've been called a thief. I am not a thief. Okay, but I have fired everybody. Very weird stuff. I mean, that would take weeks to cover. So everybody's saying Rebel Media is a scam. They're making videos about how they stole all this money, and we're going, oh my God, this can't get worse for Gavin. This is crazy. It's all coming down all at once. Then, here's the good stuff. Here's the fun stuff, because I don't really want to talk about Gavin stuff too much. Here's the fun stuff. The AA show gets announced after Artie turns up an hour late. Now, what do we want?
We want the tapes! We want the tapes! We want
Cue some of these tapes up for me. Get them up, because now we need to see footage. This was crazy. Get me that Anthony Cumia show where he announces, yes, spoiler alert, Artie Lang is the new co-host. This is big. The AA show. Got it? Artie and Anthony. And AA because Anthony Cumia fake went to AA so that the DA would get off his back. Never quit drinking. He even admits that in a recent tweet, that he lied to the district attorney so that he can get a plea deal, cop a plea. So that's very nice. And then Artie Lang, of course, who has been to AA many times because he's killed himself over and over and over again, literally. So kind of weird that Anthony Cumia thinks that's so funny. Ha AA. I went there once as a lie to the DA. Ha 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 ha. That's not really funny to people who really suffer from being an alcoholic and use AA, like Rich Voss. Oh, these sick creeps, Rich Voss, Jim Norton. They need to go to meetings. Sometimes they'll be out at night. They'll be having appetizers with all their grody friends, and it'll be too much seeing somebody drink some wine, so they need to call a friend and get to a meeting real quick. Can you imagine if you were that weak of a human being? There's no respect in going to a meeting, by the way. How about just tell yourself no? You ever thought of that, you fucking weaklings? How about instead of needing to leave dinner and find a local meeting? Do you know that's what these people do? Like they'll go to AA and then like they'll feel like they don't need to go to AA anymore. Not the Artie and Anthony show. Real AA. See? It's good branding. And, you know, years later, they'll like have a craving and they just go to it. They find a meeting in town and they just go to it quickly. Isn't that fucking crazy? Imagine if that was your life. I had to get to a meeting. I had to, calm down. A bunch of losers told me that they're suffering too and made me feel, but you're a fucking faggot. Kill yourself. I don't say kill yourself a lot. I know that's thrown around a lot on YouTube, but I mean it. If you can't have wine, you've got a lot of problems. All right, let's see. Thought announcement. Let's see what this is.
Anthony, come.
This is beautiful. I believe, was this Yates or Freddie Kumiar? Who made this thought announcement video? This is great. This wraps up everything that happened that night. Gad sad. So this was a disaster. See, this is right. It's tough coming back from vacation and covering all this. This was a nightmare. Cumia had this big show to announce the new co-host. It was Yates. Yeah, shout outs to Yates. Jason Yates, of course. Yates is Freddie Kumiar on YouTube. Shout outs. Cumia had this big show to announce the co-host. And he had... He invited all these comics to come, and they didn't show up. He invited Rich Voss to come. He invited, who's that big one who's always got an attitude? I hate him. I'm so sick of him. That fat fuck who hangs around with Louis, the pee-pee boy. We're going to get into Louis, too. Louis is addicted to his pee-pee. Louis C.K. Who's that fat, bald guy? I hate him now. He's such an attitudey little bitch. Everything is, nah. He knows nothing. I don't listen to people that are several thousand pounds. But they invited these people. They didn't show. Artie Lang was late. This thing was a disaster to watch live. Jason Yates put this thing together. He did a highlight reel, which I'm going to show on the show. Bob Kelly, yeah. I'm so sick of people being fans of these people. They're terrible. I'd like to take on Robert Kelly solo, one-on-one. Bring him down to his knees this year. You know? Really go after him harder than... Because people back down from him. Not me. I'm coming after him. All year, I'm going to expose every one of his flaws. And I think he's Louis C.K.'s door blocker. Now, this is alleged. This is all just hearsay from other people, but we're going to cover it later. There's been articles in the news that Louis C.K., and this has been a story, we've covered this, it's been a myth going around for a long time, that Louis C.K., what he does is he locks girls in his dressing room and he masturbates viciously in front of them until he juices, which I could see him doing. I also think that if this were true, I can imagine Robert Kelly sitting against the door going, no, you're not going nowhere tonight. Sorry, you got to watch him finish there. Sorry, I can't let you out. He's got a juice. I don't know. It's just what I could see happening. I'm not saying it did happen. For all I know, Robert Kelly wouldn't do that, but for all I know, he could. All right, here it is. This is the Jason Yates Nick at Night Presents version of everything that happened on this crazy announcement show. Check this out.
Anthony Cumia.
Oh,
Hi,
God.
everybody.
Oh,
we
God.
are going to announce the co-host.
The
Yeah, like the old game shows.
How dare he even say his own name without shuddering? Seriously. I'm Anthony Cumia. Shh. You're trying to get kicked out of this restaurant? What are you laughing about? Your life is in shambles.
Where's Bobby
Yeah,
Kelly?
we're waiting on Bobby.
Oh, he's calling.
He's calling in.
He will be showing up. How about like a sitcom dinner seating?
Happy Days.
Bonnie Tyler, CBS FM.
1978.
Like
Yeah.
Typhoid Mary, like King of Comedy, Dan Rowan and Dick Martin. I watched a marathon the other day. 1980, Ronald Reagan and Flip Wilson. 1979, Twitter.
Give us the match game set. That's my favorite.
Okay, hold on. So all they're doing, this show was so boring. They were only talking about like 1940s TV shows. No, not 1940s, but they would. If these guys were 10 years younger, all their references would be from the 30s and 40s. They had Ron Bennington there. Get back to work. You guys think I'm a fool? Say it to the glasses. Which ones? Any pair. Pick a pair. Yes, I'm wearing my one and only suit. They also had Jim Norton on. These guys were bored, broke, flat bored. They sat there like this is the most boring thing in the world. And I got to give it up to Bennington. Bennington, the next day on his show, Bennington has his own show called Bennington's Bliss on Sirius XM. Bennington was talking about Cumia like he's a fool. He was going, oh, my God, this compound media. Man, I don't know what they're doing over there. Did you see that logo? Those graphic designers need to get back to work, of course, my catchphrase. All right, somebody take this wheelbarrow and get me home, because I'm dying. But they were there, and they were not having it, so let's get back to this.
Friend of mine, Herbie Robinson, threw himself overboard when she started singing.
Production value, they had all this crap all over this.
Any news on Bobby?
Taping different things.
They're saying it's an audition. It's an audition.
He's late because of an audition. He's late because of an
People weren't
audition.
showing up.
That was his excuse.
And old school cab drivers. That movie Bounty, Mel Gibson. Are you as excited as I am about this whole announcement?
Wow. This is all in real time, too. I want to let you know, this was edited to get you through it a little quicker, of course. It wasn't edited like a reality show's edited where you're showing like cutaways of people making faces that they didn't make at the actual time. This is all in real time. It's just zooming in and it's cutting things, but this is how the show went. This is an easier to swallow version. Shoutouts to Yates.
Oh, there's the billboard.
Oh, dear. I mean, this is what I mean. This is work for me. They made a billboard. You should have seen this billboard. Here it is in the screen. Keith the cop put this whole thing together. And he goes, I am going to blow everyone away. In conjunction with the announcement, I am going to put up 3 billboards. One in a town in Jersey that has been abandoned because of health reasons. Another billboard is going to be in the back of an old factory. And then the third billboard will actually be planted deep inside of woods that actually used to have a train track that ran through it, but they don't run that track anymore. Seriously, he couldn't have put the billboards in worse places. Now, what do the billboards say? Compoundmedia.com. In white, pixelated font on a black background. If you're driving by this, you wouldn't pay you wouldn't pay attention to this whatsoever. You go compoundmedia.com. What else are they going to waste my fucking day with? I wish I was dead. That's what you're saying. If you're on any of these insane roads that these are on in only very impoverished towns. Really, one of these billboards was in a town in New Jersey. People go, Mike, what's the town? I go, I can't even remember. It was so, no one's ever heard of this town. So these might have cost $100. You know, if you drive around long enough, you'll go, oh, there's some billboard space here that no one's using. Yeah, there's a reason. It's because that billboard is barely visible. It's being blocked by 2 trees now. They didn't know those trees were going to grow when they first made the sign. Now the city, what are they? The city's going to cut down the trees so that Viacom or whatever can have this space? So he put up these billboards and he played this game. He thought this was going to be huge. He goes, we got 3 billboards in the tri-state area. If you find these billboards, take a picture of them and tweet them to me. You're going to win a brand new AA Compound t-shirt. 2 days went by. I don't think he got one tweet. I'm serious, with a picture of these billboards. This is really what happened. And now, cut to this announcement show. Halfway in, you've got Ron Bennington sitting there going, I wish I could get back to work. You got Jim Norton, who I've never seen this out of steam. You know, here's a guy. He said it all, I think. I was saying this about Jim Norton back when he was on Opie and Anthony back in the day. I go, it's too much talk radio. You're going to burn yourself out. You're not going to have any interest in the things you're coming out of your mouth anymore. And now we look at Jim Norton. He's out of steam, I think. He's just, and I like him. He didn't do anything bad. Isn't that crazy? Jim Norton really never screwed up, but he's out of steam. And he's sitting here on Cumia's show, the whole show going, in a daze, wishing Cumia would suck his dick or something. Let's see what happens next.
That cost.
It actually was very reasonable.
How
no
much
one's
did the
renting
billboard-
it. I'll take it.
Okay, wait.
And he's on.
They go, how much did the billboard cost? I got to hear that again. That was really good.
Overboard when she started singing.
All right, check this out.
That's nice. Any news on Bobby?
Taping different things.
They're saying it's an audition. It's an audition.
He's late because of an audition. He's
And
late because of an
Cumia.
audition.
I'll interrupt again. Cumia is doing this thing the whole show where, hey, bro, we can tell by your eyes that you're having an awful time. I don't know when people are going to realize when this is going to kick in. I say it every show. You can't fake laugh and then look terribly nervous and upset and think that we'll all swallow that. Okay? So stop trying to pull the wool over our eyes. We can see you're clearly having the worst day of your life. You got nothing to say. Everything sounds forced. You sound like you're stuck in the mud. You got those stuck in the mud eyes. So stop. Just admit it. If you've got those eyes, focus and go, okay, what is making me? Oh, it's Bob Kelly and Rich Ross. They haven't shown up. They ditched me. That hurts my feelings. But instead, what does the count do? Bob Kelly hasn't shown up. Doesn't bother me. I'm invincible. You ain't. And you've bottled up. You know, I made this post. Cumia has been fucked in the ass by his fans, his colleagues, the companies he worked for, comedians, his peers, his girlfriends. Everybody has betrayed the Count. What does he do with all those feelings of betrayal that are some of the worst feelings a person could have? He bottles them up and laughs, and then a scar forms. If he lifted up his shirt, it would... I'm sorry to compare him to Freddy Krueger. I know at this point of the 2-year mockery of the man, it's a little old, but Freddy Krueger lifts up his shirt. It's not skin like you and I. It's a swirling madhouse of souls pushing through the skin, trying to escape. And it swirls in his madness. And I'm telling you, this motherfucker lifts up his shirt. Okay, maybe it's not a screaming soul, since that is supernatural. But there are scars. And they are formed from this stress. And they are formed for not dealing with anything and pretending like, I don't give a fuck. Ha ha ha. Cumia, why are your eyes looking like a psychopath when you said that? What do you mean? I'm happy. Ha ha ha. Okay. You know, when are people going to start listening to me? Here we go.
That was his excuse.
Look at it.
And old school cab drivers. That movie Bounty, Mel Gibson. Are you as excited as I am about this whole announcement?
This is real.
Oh, there's the billboard.
Here we
What
go.
that
Watch.
cost?
Oh, it actually was very reasonable. No one's renting it. I'll take it. Pennies on the dollar.
This show's going to be gigantic thanks to this one move.
None of the people have
He
showed
knows.
up.
Bennington.
It's really depressing.
I got to say this. I've heard enough. I'm going to take back what I said about Bennington. Get back to work. I take it back. Bennington knows. And this is why he's respected. It's true. Bennington does know his major hole, his look. Okay? It's tough. It's a tough Sky's pill to swallow. He wears an outlandish suit similar to Svengali. He has such a curly hairdo that he could be the lunch lady that I had in 7th grade that I would always pay in pennies to make her go. I had a lunch lady, 7th grade. My go-to, 7th grade, I couldn't believe it. I get to 7th grade. I graduate 6th, which was so tough to get through. And I got to 7th grade, which is called middle school here in America. I get to lunch the first day. I could not believe. They introduced snacks to our lunch. You know, before 7th, hot lunch was shit. You had a square piece of pizza with fucking staple gun marks in the back. I don't know what those were about. It was the I liked pizza as a kid. I wasn't crazy. I did not eat hot lunch pizza. I couldn't take one bite. It was fucking disgusting. It was like somebody took a sheet of Anthony Cumia's skin, cut it in a square, then vomited on it, spread it out with a knife, and then put it in the oven. That's what the fucking lunchroom pizza was like in school. But I get to 7th, they got a hot pretzel machine. Now, is it a machine or more of a glass case with a light bulb? Might be more of a glass case with a light bulb, but it was similar to food stands that you would see in very mainstream establishments, such as the zoo, such as Disney on Ice capades, such as concerts, you know, a hot pretzel rack. And it even had a logo, Softies Hot Pretzels. And it spun, I think. Did it spin? Or did it hang? There was a light bulb to keep them warm. And on the bottom of the machine, this was sloppily placed, were cups of nacho cheese. That was my go-to. I couldn't believe it when I got into 7th. You know how much that was back then? I'm not kidding. I think it was 65 cents for the hot pretzel and cheese. I'm not kidding. Big, beautiful hot pretzel. I loved it. Today, would I eat a hot pretzel? Absolutely not. Unless it was smoking hot. Like
I'm going to give her a 8.5.
if the pretzel was that hot, I'd eat it. But these pretzels were just warm. And I would pay and change every day. This lunch lady looked just like Ron Bennington and Cumia combined. And a long way to go for this lunch lady story to talk about Bennington's hair. But yes, Bennington's hair is exactly like the lunch lady that I would prank. We did this thing where we told the lunch lady we were gangbangers. And we always wore hoodies back then, pullover hoodies, similar to how we dress now. And we would wear our hoodies with our Airwalks. Remember, back then, Vans wasn't cool. Airwalks was cool. Airwalks, baggy jeans, a hoodie. Me and my friends, all three of us put our hoodies on it, and we'd go up, yo, 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 we're gangbangers. She was like 89 years old, the lunch lady. And she'd go, you're a gang member, so boy. And we go, yeah, we want this out pretzel. She'd go, and we'd all have our hoods on, and we'd be like this. And then we would pay in pennies. I would reach into the hoodie pocket, and I would, psst. The lunch lady would hold her ears from the dangle of the change. Ah! And I'm not kidding. The reason we did this is because one day we did it out of necessity. We had to pay in change one day. We didn't have enough money. This is how the lunch lady counts change. 1, 2, and there's a line building. 3, 1 nickel, so that's 5. So that's 8. A dime, now that's 18. And we go, this is incredible. What a find. So then we only paid in change every day to that because we would just sit there and laugh at the lunch lady while she slow counted. Ron Bennington looks like that lunch lady. Let's go back to the announcement.
Really is depressing. Paulie Walnuts, Tony.
Paulie Walnuts.
Yeah, that was
Where are the other guys? No one's showing up.
The
Wow.
Sopranos.
The Sopranos. Look it. We made a millionaire fidget. We made a millionaire fidget. We did. Kumia, when he gets nervous, this is his tell. He starts doing this weird thing with his hand where he's actually, wow, I'm looking at that in the camera and the frame rate is making my hand look real trippy. Kumia tinkles and totters with little kids. So that's where his go-to is the tickling of the balls. Only my wife could tickle like that. So that's what he's doing. They cut to his hands. And he's going, well, why didn't they show up? Your Sopranos impression doesn't make up for the fact that you got ditched. And just like 7th grade, if you got ditched, you were a loser. Okay? You got ditched! Yeah.
Yes, the co-host is in the building.
Whoa!
Jimmy wears his secrets like a tattoo. It's a very smart move.
You have to.
Jimmy
They're gonna find.
Jimmy with a secret like a tattoo. It's a smart move. What the fuck? See, this is why it makes me... It's tough to like Bennington. Jimmy wears his heart like a secret. It's a tough move. Can you not talk like that? Oh my God, sorry. I just got so frightened by this fucking still of the count. He is rough. I'm not kidding. You know what it is? This video version of him has really fucked with him up. If he would have started Compound Media audio only, I don't think we'd be here right now. It's this pebble of a man. I mean, it's too funny. I'm not over making fun of the count. Me and my wife make fun of the count on our own dime. I pretend that I'm him when we're having sex. I go, oh, it's the Anthony and Danny show. Look at him. Take a screenshot of this. Take a screenshot of this and put it on the group. Wow, that is, and this is from his own camera. There was no effects. Look at him. Look at him. My hair. Your hair is burning.
Find out anyway.
It's up to...
Let's take a minute to talk about deepdiscount.com.
Whoa.
We could do that.
Whoa, he doesn't want to. Ooh, Norton on his
It's
phone.
loaded with, what do you call CDs? Deep discount.
Oh my God. During the show, they go into a deep discount ad and he goes, it's loaded with what you call CDs. CDs. Huh? Remember when you heard the term CD and you mostly thought of like a compact disc? Nowadays, you hear the term CD, you think about CD at a bank. Because no one has CDs. I bet there's some girls with CDs. They still got that visor. They still pull out a blank, all written on, and they shove that thing in. Girls probably still do that. Some shitty girls that I went to high school with still do that. Oh, sorry. There's this girl I went to high school with who used to be one of the popular girls. She resurfaced on Instagram the other day. Apparently, she's been doing heroin. I want to show you a picture of her. I got to show you this picture of this girl. She de-evolved. I sent this to all my high school friends yesterday. I go, what's going on here? They go, I know. Apparently, she did heroin, and she's fucked. Let me show you this. You're going to puke. I'm not kidding. Wait till you see this girl. I went to high school with this girl. You got to remember, this used to be one of the popular cute girls that was always dating people. Wait till you see this. Hold on. Wait. Wait. Oh, it's going to be blown out. Can I get it any closer? This isn't even doing it justice. I gotta show you. I know this. People don't tune into this show for this. They tune in for Kumi. I can't show you that, but I gotta show you this. It's so nauseating how ugly she got. And she turned into like a zombie. Wait till you see this. Hold on. It has to be done. It's been like haunting me. And now that I think about it, remember a little bit ago, I just went, oh, it's because I was remembering this dream that I had last night about her coming for me. I don't want to say the name out loud as I type. Okay, wait till you see this. I'm going to put it on the screen. Can you see this? Can you see what I mean, you're going to go, no, that's like Walking Dead. This was a hot chick in our school. Look at this. Imagine if you started seeing this. And wait, it's a slideshow. Look at this. This used to be one of the popular kids that we all hung out with. I sent it to everyone I went to high school with the other day, just saying, and they go, I know, we all talk about her too. Look at this. Oh! And I go, what caused this? And they go, apparently she did a lot of meth and heroin. Oh! Oh! And it's way worse if you saw this in person. Oh my God. This was a hot chick. Many people of my friends dated this woman. Okay, anyway. Do you have anyone like that you went to high school? Oh, God. It makes me physically nauseous. Someone says, damn, I called that shit LOL. Maybe I thought, yo. This was a white chick, a regular white. She lived actually in a rich neighborhood. Family was normal. She was a regular looking kid that we hung around with in 7th and 8th. Looks exactly like an inmate. We couldn't believe it. That's a man. I'm telling you. Unrecognizable. Let's go back to the announcement. It's not transracial, nothing like that. That's a Gavin 7. She's white. That's a white chick. Regular white. As a kid, just looked like your average girl. Not hot, not ugly. People dated her. She had a lot of dates. I'll tell you that. We need to watch her. I'm scared of her. I had a dream, now that I think of it, of her. She got in there. Okay, let's get back to the announcement.
.com. Sergeant Bilko?
Phil Silvers.
Phil Silvers.
Top Cat, Flintstones, Honeymoon. The Great Kazoo.
Great Kazoo. The Brady Bunch. John Denver, the $6 Million Man, The Bionic Woman, Columbo, Rockford Files,
McMillan and Wife.
Columbo, deepdiscount.com.
Deep discount.
Deep discount. Where's the beef? 1970s, 1980s, 1985.
Wow.
The OMTV Raps and DJ Jazzy Jeff. The 80s, 1984. What the 80s were. Artie Lang.
Here comes Artie.
How you doing, Artie?
So, Artie Lang is the co-host, okay? This is, we have a lot to talk about here. Because I didn't even know how far Artie has fallen from fame. I mean, this guy was on Mad TV, which was a popular show. He was Howard Stern's co-host for years, and I know you weren't around during those times, but if you were a Howard Stern fan, which millions and millions and millions of people were, it was very popular. Artie was very popular back then. I mean, he had hundreds of TV shows, and he was there was an era of Artie where he was respected amongst comedians. He was respected amongst his peers. He was respected amongst fans as a pretty funny guy. Almost kind of like Ron Bennington used to have. He had respect, now he doesn't. He needs to get back to work. Artie Lang, I couldn't believe it. He really's got no one anymore. This was announced to almost zero. Congratulations. Seriously. Everywhere you went, this announcement was met with 98% hate. I couldn't believe it myself. They announced it. The Cumia Show's Twitter account, Anthony's Twitter account, Artie's Twitter account. 98% of the comments were negative. I can't believe you're having Artie on. He's washed up. I'm not going to be able to make it through an entire Artie episode. I like Artie. The biggest compliment you have was, all right, man, we'll see how this goes. I like Artie in small doses, but I really can't imagine him on a whole show. I couldn't believe it. I go, yes. That's what I did when I couldn't believe it. I went, yes. Because obviously, for me, my life is the more things that go wrong for the count, the funnier my life is. That's where I'm living right now. I'll admit it. Compound Media, the count. If stuff goes wrong, I wake up going, yes! It's not out of revenge. This is how I want the storyline to go. It's got to get worse before it gets better. And it's just got to get worse. Let's cut to the chase. It's got to get worse. Nobody is excited for this Artie announcement. I mean, yeah, you've got 3 or 4 of these Cumia fans who love everything he does. They're excited, but I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how negative it was all over the internet. Everywhere you looked, it was negativity, saying the most outlandish things. I could not believe it. And then I think back to Keith. While he's buying these billboards, while he's making this deal with Artie, while he's moving around all this money, and in Keith's head, he's going, I am really killing it as a producer. I am like moving and shaking. I am like a guy in Entourage, putting all the pieces together. And then it all kind of just toppled down, starting with this announcement. Nobody cared. The other comedians didn't show up. Nobody tweeted these billboards for the contest to win a free shirt. And everybody responded in a negative way. Let's see what else happens. Artie's coughing. He barely Tales from the Crypt reruns. Jersey.
Like how Gary Coleman, different strokes.
The Crack House, that movie, you see my left arm for like 3 seconds, if that.
Wow.
It was $20. The Crackheads. It hasn't aired in 40.
Now Artie looks terrible, and all he's doing is saying, "Hey, we're in Jersey and Crack House and hookers, Jersey." And I've noticed this too. The comedians have stopped laughing at Artie. He used to be all there. People used to really get a kick out of him. He was sharp. He was one of these full of sarcastic wit type of guys. And now it almost looks like he's had a piece of his brain removed in one of those movies and they fried it in the frying pan. And now he's kind of this Alzheimer's version, this dementia version of Artie, where he just kind of repeats his catchphrases and everyone kind of looks like, oh, Artie, Jersey, hookers, Hoboken. Do you have any other opinions or points? Jersey. And he looks like he looks sad. He's always got his head down. He looks fucked. He looks burnt. He looks used up, cooked. He's toast. And that's what Cumia just signed to save his network. Now wait till you hear what happens after the announcement.
40 years, Bob. Pepsodent. DePaulo had...
I thought he was going to be here today.
Nick's wife is having foot surgery.
Cop in Pittsburgh at 40.
Pittsburgh.
Vic Tayback, heroin problem. I'm at Zany's. When I worked at the port, I was a longshoreman. Desi and Lucy. I was still using The Sopranos.
Sopranos, Jersey.
Barbara Walters, Rocky
Wow.
3. I was over there. They don't get any references.
They don't get any
You
reference.
for T Justice.
Your womb is so polluted. That's
All in the Family had
Norman Lear.
Good times.
Is it the Jeffersons?
Yates,
George
this is
Jefferson.
incredible.
Red Fox.
Sanford's son.
Grady Rollo on that
Rollo.
fucking show.
And Grady was
Rollo
just
was
great,
amazing,
though.
yeah.
Barney Miller.
50 cents. I'll take 50 cents. Let me have part of it. I give each one of you.
Lines of blow.
Oh my God, so many of those bands that have a couple of the guys die.
Yeah, they just
You
keep going, man.
on. And then other guys die, and it's like, yeah, that will never, we will never see them as a band again. It really does make you think, like, you're not all that important. Zeppelin,
Springsteen with
Eagles.
I think it goes to show you that the fucking audience doesn't care.
What it is, karaoke.
Yeah.
AC/DC,
Bruce Dickinson.
Steve Perry, the Sabbath, Iron Maiden.
David Lee Roth turned on his show to see about his morning. Boozy, boozy, bop.
He wanted it to be boozy 40 fucking years ago.
Look at this.
Cops and Robertsons.
Jerry Lewis, 62.
Man, old Johnny Carson, you Jack Hanna. Don Rickles. Archie
was.
Dickinson, not Fonzie.
Carson.
When he would hook up with girls at a gig or something, he would go back. Don't tell him.
The other candidates didn't show up.
Yeah.
And there's only 20 minutes left in the
What
show.
a build.
Isn't that something? Artie Lang. There it is. Artie and Anthony.
Say, I didn't insist on my name first. You said it flows better.
The Jersey Turnpike. There it is.
Well, that's the picture that we used.
Okay.
That is a great one.
Oh, that's
Now they're showing, and by the way, if you're listening to the audio-only version of this, do yourself a favor and go to this Freddie Kumiar YouTube channel and look for the video titled The Announcement. Okay, it's amazing. Jason Yates did an incredible job on this. I'm acting like Gino. You know, Gino, they caught him throwing up in his mouth a few times on the last In Hot Water. And I was thinking, Gino throws up in his mouth on purpose so that he gets a little meal in there. And I just kind of did a little bit of a Gino. So they're doing this thing, and this is major. I want to really talk about this. And shout outs to Ashley Butterfield for pointing this out. The AA show, they're using, you can't see it in this picture, but they're using mug shots, the old mug shot. Now, this is very weird because Gavin McInnes has a T-shirt with his mug shot on it that's sold on the Compound Media Store. So it is kind of weird that you would go the mug shot route to do all your new logos with. So they have a mug shot logo, and it's got Artie on one side, his mugshot, and then it's got Kumia's mugshot on the other side. You all seen Kumia's mugshot by now. And they think this is so funny and cute. It's both their mugshots, and it says, hey, I want to, and again, all credit goes to Ashley Butterfield for pointing this out. I want to let it be perfectly clear here. Glamorizing mugshots has been done forever. We've seen it, you know, Joe Rogan's show's got all the mugshots behind him. He's got those posters, Jimi Hendrix, Elvis, Al Capone. Now, I don't know what those boys were arrested for, but I doubt it was for beating up a woman. Yes. Kumia's mugshot is because he was arrested for biting the hand of a woman, a domestic disturbance. That's a bit different than Jimi Hendrix being arrested for doing drugs on stage. Or, who's that comedian who was arrested for saying the N-word back in the day on stage to push the arts? Or even Artie Lang. A drug arrest. A drunken public arrest. Those are cool, glamorizable rock star arrests. Kumia was arrested for beating up a woman. It's not something you glamorize. It's not something that's cool under any circumstance. Even people who beat women go, yeah, you should probably. Does Kumia even know that that's fucking cringe? That that's not the same as an Elvis Presley mugshot? Thank you very much. I was arrested, for smashing a bottle of vodka on a plane. No. You beat up a woman, bro. It's not cool. And now all these people are going to buy these Cumia mugshot shirts of his fucking mugshot from when he was arrested for beating up a woman. I would say the DA should be brought up to speed. I would never do it. I don't report people. But imagine the DA being brought up to speed. Oh, here's a tweet from Anthony Cumia saying, oh, I pretended to quit drinking so that the DA would give me a deal. I went to fake rehab so that I could get out of jail time. He admitted this on his fucking Twitter. Oh, and here's my mugshot from beating up the girl, and I'm selling it as merch. I don't know about you. That's a little fucking nuts. Don't you think? Don't you think that's kind of terrible? And don't you think that shows that Keith is kind of fucking stupid? That old woman, remember that old woman who told me not to make fun of Mike Fennoy? This is funny to you? Remember that guy who beat up a girl? That's the mugshot from the night where you probably could have lost your job if he went to jail. Is that so funny? It's not like, you know, he was wrongfully accused and he beat those charges. No. I think that's sick. You know, I got it again. Somebody said mugshots are cool. Listen, if you were arrested for doing something cool, then it is kind of cool. You were fighting the system. No. You beat up like a girl who's 22 years old. That's not very cool and funny to brag about. Sorry, even if you didn't do all the things she said you did, that's not really. I mean, you're too afraid to even talk about it. So I think that's a giant blind spot that these idiot old men don't even think about. It's not Artie that can't get along with him. It's heroin. He can't be running to the bathroom to do a rail. You know, and Artie, I think his mug, you know, well, I don't know about that mugshot, but, you know, is it really that funny that Artie was arrested for doing a drug that led him to his almost death, where he stabbed himself in the stomach 6 times? And they haven't overcome these moments. They're not, these things aren't in the past. These things could very well happen again. Very, very, very soon. So just a terrible, despicable, very county way to do this. You might as well do merch of Danny Golightly's bit hand. You know, it's like the same thing at this point. So Cumia is either really stupid or, you know, he does these shows, he's on autopilot, then he goes home and he just chugs booze. And he never really has that time to really think about any of these things that he's doing.
It's Miami. You have to take the other one down. Take this. There you go.
Yeah.
I have Callista Flockhart's neck.
Bill Devane.
Walter Matthau.
Different options for merch.
There's the logo, which is just...
And here it is, the logo. AA. It's a circle logo. It's got a stock logo banner. It looks like, you know, about 7 years ago, about 9, 10, 11, 12 years ago, companies started using these logos to look vintage. They started using grunge layovers, distressings. They wanted it to look like a vintage label from an old vintage product, whether it be shampoo, a bottle of beer, you know, that you'd have to open with a can opener, something vintage, retro. They've gone the old retro look. This would have been something that a company would jump on about 12 years ago to be cool. They're doing it now. It is a designer's nightmare. It is a circle logo. It says Artie and Anthony. Then it says The Lang AA Cumia Show, compoundmedia.com. It's got that old vintage microphone set at a halftone at about 50% in the middle. This is a screen printer's nightmare. This is an embroiderer's nightmare. You can't do this logo on merch. I can't wait to see what this merch looks like. The only way you could do this merch to make this logo look like you're seeing it now is to do a heat press iron-on transfer. It's the only way. It is sickening. And everyone hates it. His fans hate it. His peers hate it. Ron Bennington made fun of it the next day. The AA looks like, people are saying it looks like two white hoods from the Ku Klux Klan. The spacing is all off. The sizes, it's got about 9 different fonts going in there. It's awful. No one likes this logo. And they hated his logo before, the Guinness parody. Because he loves drinking in his basement bar. Ha, ha, ha. These fools. So old, so shitty. So there's the new logo. I've gotten a lot of people to cop me the new merch, which is nice. I got the new mug coming out. I got the long sleeve crew neck. I've got the AA. Oh, and they did shirts where it says, "Hello, my name is," like an AA name badge. I'll show you. We'll go over those later. Everything they do is cringe. Everything they do is hack, gay, lame. Really. And the reason this is so fascinating to all of us is because when Opie and Anthony was in its prime, they called out all the gay, lame, cringe, and they were right. They were on it. And now they have become the cringiest shit on the web. They're almost cringier than like Chris Hardwick and his game of flames. His gang of flames. Okay? They're almost just as bad in a shittier way. At least like Chris Hardwick and all those losers have some sort of production value. You know, this is so shitty. I've never seen anything this terribly put together in my life. This is Cumia. This is your guy. This is the guy we've been following. And it's getting worse. It all is getting worse, just like we hoped.
Look, AA, very
Really
simple,
good.
very nice. The mugs.
Yeah.
The mugs.
You know, we're kind of like, we're still here having fun. I feel like Papillon at the end, Steve McQueen.
Oh, look at this.
Merch, man.
You're so funny. I'm so excited about this.
I am so sad.
We're going to piss off. We have no bosses.
The tapes. Shout outs to Yates, huh?
Gino is flat broke. Gino ain't got no money. Flat broke. He's always looking so damn crummy. Flat broke Gino. Ain't nobody think he's funny. He can't move out of the projects 'cause Gino is flat broke.